Smackdown starts off with Brock Lesnar. He comes out, he was about to cut a promo, but then he gets interrupted by R-Truth, and he ends up responding to Brock. He ends up saying that he used to be scared of Brock Lesnar, but he isn't scared of him anymore, and that he's here to defend John Cena. Brock Lesnar ends up responding. He ends up saying that he doesn't know who R-Truth is, and that he's asking why is he here in the ring. And R-Truth responds back and saying that he's here to defend Cena. You've been disrespecting Cena for over 25 years. He ends up saying that he's R-Truth. Then Brock Lesnar kept doing this thing where he keeps repeating himself. This segment was funny, but it was kind of weird because throughout this promo, you just keep having Brock keep repeating the same thing. He kept repeating, what's his name? And he kept repeating, do you know where John Cena is? They go back and forth. He keeps repeating the same thing over and over with some minor changes of R-Truth. He ends up asking R-Truth's name again, but instead of calling himself R-Truth, he called him Ron Cena. He ends up saying that John Cena is his older brother, which I thought was funny. It was a funny segment, but it did get to a point where it was kind of getting repetitive because, again, I don't know if Brock Lesnar lost. He didn't know what to say. He didn't remember his lines, but he kept repeating the same thing over and over, and they just kept running in circles eventually. It gets towards the end where Brock Lesnar ends up saying, where he ends up saying that R-Truth is missing a tooth. R-Truth, of course, falls forward, hits a F5, and that's it. So, it was a funny segment, but this segment also doesn't make much sense because last week, it was literally confirmed that that was John Cena's last SmackDown appearance. It was confirmed. And John Cena in his promo last week even said that was his last SmackDown. And Brock Lesnar made his return last SmackDown attacking John Cena, interrupting the US Championship match. So why are you asking where John at, even though you know that was his last SmackDown appearance? You were there. You were there. Unless you just magically came into the arena at the last second and just saw they was having a match and was like, all right, now, like, no, like, you were there. You should have known that was his last SmackDown appearance. The fuck are you asking where is John Cena? That didn't make no sense. We're clearly never going to get an explanation for why Brock Lesnar attacked. They're just going to do what they did with Cody Rhodes, where they're just going to have the match, not explain anything, and that's it. I'm not really excited for this because, like I said, I've never been a Brock Lesnar fan. I just don't find him that entertaining. And John Cena is my GOAT, but even he's not even able to save this, really, because they're not really doing anything with him to really build up this match. And plus, we already know how the match is going to play out. It's going to be a bunch of suplexes. John Cena be the babyface, have to overcome the odds, make his comeback, probably win the match. Like, I'm not really that excited for this match. It is what it is, but we'll see how it plays out. But I honestly couldn't care less. Next, we end up getting Sami Zayn versus Rey Fenix, a United States Championship Open Challenge. This was a banger match. This was a great match. Really enjoyed it. Sami Zayn, of course, picked up the victory. But throughout this match, Rey Fenix was getting the upper hand. He had Sami Zayn's number. Like, multiple times where he was countering Sami's moves, constantly having Sami for near falls. It was a majority of this match, low-key, was carried by Rey Fenix. Sami did a great job as well from selling the moves of Rey Fenix, but Rey Fenix was really having the offensive majority of the match. This was a really great match. Really excited to see what's next for the Sami United States Championship picture. He's going to have a match against Carmelo Hayes soon because Carmelo ended up talking to Nick Aldis. Then he eventually talked to Sami, and Sami ended up agreeing. So it looks like we're getting that Carmelo Hayes versus Sami. I know Carmelo's not winning, but it is a match that I am excited about because you have two great human workers, two of my favorite wrestlers. Can't wait to see how that plays out, so very excited for that match. I'm excited for Sami Zayn United States Championship run. Now, the only thing we got to hope for is that it continues like this and that we're not getting the Solo Sikoa. Now, I think eventually we're going to run that back, but can we take a break from that? Take a good 2 to 3 month break before we go back to that. I am not trying to see. I love Solo, but his run was not good due to his booking, and his booking has just been trash. Ever since he lost to Ulafala, his booking has been trash. So I'm really not trying to see Solo near a championship right now because I feel like his booking is just going to be bad anyway. So let's just keep these two away from each other. Have Solo disappear off TV, have him do something else. I don't know. But very interested to see what Sami Zayn does with the United States Championship. We end up getting a quick Y6 vignette package. Basically, the vignette was basically talking about the Street Profits, talking about how their brotherhood is being tested, and now that they're about to crumble, they're about to fall out with each other. They're not to be brothers that they claim to be over these tag team championships, basically. So they're basically saying that the Street Profits are, their friendship is weak and that they're not about to be tag partners anymore. They're not Their relationship is about to be ruined due to the tag team titles, and that their prophecy was right, basically, that their friendship was not real and genuine like theirs. Okay, so I will say this was a good vignette. I'm kind of growing to the idea of the Wyatt Six. I'm still not fully on board yet because I still find them a bit boring. But this story, if this Street Profits story can actually work, I might be on board with the Wyatt Six. It just depends on how I execute it. Now, me personally, I don't want to see the Street Profits break up because I love the Street Profits. I think they have the potential of being one of the greatest tag teams of all time if they had good booking. But if they're going to break up, I don't mind this because I actually think both guys, because a lot of people always talk about Montez Ford. Y'all sleep on Angelo Dawkins. Angelo Dawkins has potential. Now, I don't know about world title potential. Even if he was a world champion, he'll probably be like a Damian Priest world champion. But he has potential too. Like, y'all sleep on Angelo Dawkins. Angelo Dawkins is really good. Great in ring and has mic skills. Y'all sleep on him. But Montez does have the higher ceiling, I understand. But if they can execute this actual breakup, I will be down for it. My only issue is I just don't see where they're going to execute it. Because looking at the scene on Smackdown, the world title scene is locked. It's locked with Cody, so there's that. And then the United States Championship picture, that scene has been very mid for the longest time. So it's been mid for years. It's because you got Logan Paul, LA Knight. So it's been mid for a while. So it's like, I don't trust them doing anything with that. So I'm hoping they do better with Sammy. But until they prove that, it's like, where does this go? And then you have the mid-card feuds, the Aleister Black, Damian Priest feud. I'm not really feeling because it's just a repetitive feud. Aleister Black attacks Damian Priest from behind. He cuts a vignette package. It's the same thing over and over. So it's like, I'm not really excited for that. So we'll see how this plays out. But hopefully they're able to book it right. We were supposed to get a match between Julia and B-Fab, but B-Fab ended up getting attacked before she was able to make it in the ring. You have Kiana and Julia, they attack her. Then you get Michin comes out for the save with a kendo stick. All right, nothing much, but they are improving. They're improving. They're getting better, even though I still wish we had some story and not just the basic, hey, you have the title, I want your title, so we feud. I hope that eventually they're able to actually get some promo time and not just backstage segments. But to be fair, I don't really expect that. This is kind of what I expected from a Julia title reign, where it's going to be little to no effort, little to no story. But hey, at least she's getting on TV. It's better than what they was doing before, where she was having no matches and no TV time. Now, should they be doing more with her? Yes. But this is probably the best we're going to get, so let's just accept it now, because getting your hopes up, there's really no reason to get your hopes up. I like Michin. I like her a lot. Interested. You know what? I'm slightly interested in this, but mainly because they're finally putting some effort into this, and Michin's in the match, and B-Fab is into this. Other than that, I wouldn't be interested. So we'll see how this plays out. Now we get the WWE's Women's Championship match between Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton. I was extremely shocked that this was a championship match because I was so confused. I was like, what? They're going to have a match? Now, I think this was probably confirmed last week, but I wasn't really paying attention. But this was a all right match. Towards the end, you end up getting Jade Cargill ends up doing a spear. Well, not really a spear. She ends up picking her up and just slamming her through the barricade. But the referee counts a 10 count, which was very obvious because I was like, they're not going to have Jade beat Tiffany on Smackdown. But to be fair, there was a chance that it could have happened, but I was like, they're not going to have her win here. But ends up being a count out, so Tiffany, of course, retains. Then you get Nia Jax ends up attacking both of them, and that's it. Now, I know a lot of people don't like this, and me too. Now, I don't hate this as much as others. I just say this. What did y'all expect? There's no one on SmackDown. Like, SmackDown main event scene is dead. It's just those three women. Because if you don't want her to face Jade or Nia, we're looking at Candice LeRae. Like, that's what we're looking at. And I love Candice. I think she has world championship material, but she hasn't been booked as world champion. She's doing speed stuff right now. So it's like, this is all we have. It's like, it's annoying that we keep running this back, but it's like, what else do you want, though? It's like, what's the other option? Because at least on Raw, you have other options. You have a Rhea, a Asuka, a Io. Before, you had Naomi before she got pregnant, but you have Bayley in the mix. You have, who else am I forgetting? Well, Liv Morgan isn't there, but even still, you had Liv Morgan at one point in time. Like, you had wrestlers that you could flip-flop, interchange. Nikki Bella even though I don't think she should be in a world title picture, but even still, you have Becky Lynch eventually, like when she loses it, like you have options with Raw. SmackDown, there is no option. You have no one. There, you had Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair right there, but they decided to put them in a tag division for whatever reason. So it's like, you have no one. This is the only option. This is the only outcome. I get it's annoying, but there's really no other choice. So it is what it is. Then we get the main event. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. This match, I'm happy that Drew got the victory because he won. The way he got it made no sense. So Randy was about to do a punt kick, but the referee was stopping him from doing it. Now, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe the move is banned. Now, I know that the move probably is, I know it's banned from like WWE, but like, has a referee ever like actually tried to stop Randy before he done this punt? Because I feel like in a match, he tried to do this and they didn't stop him before. But for whatever reason, in this, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm just mixing things up. I could have sworn he tried to do this in a match before and they didn't stop him, but the guy just moved out the way. But the referee was trying to stop Randy. That allows Drew McIntyre to recover. He moves out the way. Drew McIntyre pushes Randy into the ref, but the ref ended up, but Randy stops himself. This allowed Drew to hit a Claymore, pick up the victory. Then he attacks Randy. He was about to do what he ended up doing to Cody Rhodes a few weeks ago by doing a Claymore into the announce table. But Cody Rhodes makes his return, attacks Drew McIntyre, and then he basically ends up calling him out to fight at WrestlePalooza. So we're getting the Drew McIntyre Cody Rhodes match at WrestlePalooza. That should be a banger match. Excited to see how that plays out. Overall, SmackDown was actually a decent show. It wasn't bad. This is a decent SmackDown. It was an enjoyable show. I actually had a good time watching it. It was a decent show. Let's hope they can improve on this. You guys let me know your overall thoughts, opinions below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.